Today I would like to show you how to make the best sandblasting nozzle ever from an old spark plug. And while we are at it, we're going to make our own gun and a holder for the nozzle as well. I bought myself this El Cheapo Chinesium sandblasting pot from a company called Adendorf here in South Africa. Now I am sure you will get similar from a place like Harbor Freight if you live in the States, probably Princess Auto in Canada. Yes, those are the only companies I know on the other side of the pond that will sell similar Chinesium stuff. It works well enough, but the ceramic nozzles that come with this machine wear out very quickly and they are actually pretty damn useless. These are the ceramic nozzles that you get with the machine, and look at the state of these. That's what they end up looking like after maybe only 10 to 15 minutes of blasting. I mean, that's no good. I quickly ran out of these and I wanted to carry on with my blasting, so I tried machining nozzles from EN8 steel, these ones over here, but yeah, as you can see, they did not last very long either. During a previous video, a number of you guys suggested that I use the ceramic from an old spark plug. So I am going to give that a try. This is something that all of us got hanging around. Unless you are only into ECUs and fuel injection and all of that stuff. But then I guess you won't be hanging around with me, because I'm just old school. The challenge is to extract or salvage that white ceramic part as indicated by my crooked finger. Now I struggled a little bit at first before I got it all figured out, but now I know how, and I would like to show you guys how to do it. First thing to do is to cut through the metal on this part, right here in the indentation, all the way around. It's only about 1 millimeter thick, this metal, so you don't cut very deep. And if you use a standard cutting disc and a baby grinder, that ceramic part that's underneath the metal part is very hard. You'll hardly make a dent in it, and you'll actually feel as you cut through the steel part, so it's not difficult. Let me quickly show you how I cut it. Now, like I said, it's only about 1 millimeter deep that you have to cut, but that very hard ceramic will stop you. You will feel when you hit it, and it's impossible to cut through it, so it's not difficult. Let's do it. If you looked carefully, you might have seen how the color of the sparks actually changed once you've cut through the metal and you're cutting into the ceramic. So now I'm going to use the spanner to just break it free, and I can pull this piece out. That's what we get. That part we're not going to need anymore, so we can discard that. So next I'm just going to break this ceramic part here with a hammer. Right, so far so good. Clamped in the vise, and you can see on this electrode there's this little swelling there. Is that the right word? Swelling. It's enlargement, whatever. I'm going to cut it off right there. Next move is to screw out that little thingy right there. Into the vise we go. Vice grip clamped onto there, right, that tightly, and we can screw it out anti-clockwise as per normal. There we go. Got that out, can you see? Next, we've got to remove the electrode that runs through the middle of the ceramic part. Only way to get that out is to knock it out with a pin punch. This should do it. Let's see. Moving. I'm just going to stop for a while and show you what's happening on the other side. Can you see it's coming out? Here's a close-up shot. So there you can see the electrode coming out. You look carefully in there with my shaky pointer. You see there's like some kind of a hardened paste in there that will break away. Now if you struggle to knock it out all of the way, you can always grab this end with a vice grip or a pair of pliers and pull it out. Let's see. Yes. If you look carefully inside the hole, you can see that paste-like material. You can just clean that out with a drill or a piece of wire. Now I want to loosen this nut-like part that is stuck to the ceramic with some kind of a glue. So I'm just going to clamp it in the vise and then gently knock it out. If you break it, well, you've got at least 3 more to play with. 7 more if you like your V8s. Oh, this one seems to be quite stuck. Gentle. And there it goes. Ta-da! And we've got ourselves an NGK ceramic nozzle and a nut with which to mount it with, which is our next step. Yes, Champion, Delco, whatever is your favorite brand, they will work just as well. Nope, the sanding belt does nothing to the ceramic, but this stuff is hard. I was just trying to tidy it up a little bit here where I broke the ceramic bit. Not that it matters. I'm sure if you've got a diamond blade, diamond wheel, you'll be able to remove some of this material. But it doesn't matter, this is good enough. The idea of that hole right there is about 4.8 millimeters. Yeah, whatever that is in inches. Now you do need a fair bit of airflow to make an orifice of that size work for sandblasting. Have a look at this table that was provided to me by my buddy Henk over at Air Systems. You can see that a nozzle with 4.8 millimeters internal diameter requires at least 38 CFM for continuous efficient blasting. If you only do short bursts and small items, you can get away with a lower airflow number. With sandblasting, adequate airflow is the most important thing, not so much air pressure. Here's what I did to fit my new ceramic nozzle to the sandblasting gun I made, which I will show you just now. I took a 1/2 inch pipe nipple, cut it in half, and then I welded this nut onto the end of it, like you can see right there. I wrapped a little bit of PTFE tape around the nozzle to ensure a tight fit. Now this goes in like that. And there we have it. A perfect seal is not necessary right there. This is completely good enough. And this contraption is my sandblasting gun. Now there are many ways to skin a cat. I just assembled this with some pipe fittings I had here in the shop. So I've got a 1/2 inch ball valve here. And the only reason I have a T-piece here is because I had it. But I also figured I want to extend this whole contraption a little bit, so I can have a place here to grip it. It's not necessary, I'm sure you can just fit your pipe directly to the ball valve if you want. And now my nozzle holder can screw in there, like that. We've got a nozzle for our gun now. There's my valve to open and close it. So now we can go and do some blasting. Okie dokie, are you ready for some dust? I've got grit in my sandblasting pot. The air supply is connected. I want to finish off the blasting on the inside of this door. So let's see how my new nozzle setup works. So why all this messy tape here on the ball valve? Let me take it off and you can see what happened. Just look at that. Look how this ball valve is worn away from all that abrasive grit going through it. So yeah, this is definitely the weak link in the chain. But in all fairness, I must say I did get quite a bit of sandblasting done before this eventually happened. So now I've just got to come up with a plan to eliminate this problem. I don't know what it is yet. I need a different kind of a valve. Yeah, we'll give it some thought. And my spark plug nozzle, well, that looks as good as it did when I first started. I can't see anywhere whatsoever. What a winner. That's the answer as far as nozzles are concerned. Well, I am filthy and I don't think my wife will let me into the house in this state. But this spark plug nozzle is just great. I've done a lot of sandblasting here now and it is showing no signs of wear. It's the best thing ever. Thanks for you guys who suggested I try this. Awesome idea, it really works well. Just got to solve my ball valve problem that's wearing out. But we'll see what we can do about that. Thanks for hanging out with me. I enjoyed your company. I'll see you oaks next week. Have a lucky one, as always.
Whatever makes you happy, it just depends on you. So think a little bigger and dream